guys, I'm Ronnie, and life is good today. So, I don't know if y'all know, but today, what is today? Today is February 21st, and tomorrow we are going to Cancun, Mexico. That's right. We're going to take us a trip to the Mexico. And behind us, as you in this picture, this is the resort we're going to be staying at. It's the Palace Peninsula down in Cancun, Mexico. And I thought, hey, I better get going. I've got, you might even hear it in the background. I've got clothes washing. I've been done, washed and dried and folded some clothes, getting bags packed. Miss Alma, she's working. I thought I'd just put out this little informational video because I'm trying to get everything situated. So I thought, hey, let me share what I've learned and before I head to Mexico. So maybe it helps some other people traveling. And that's what it's all about. Or at least that's what it's about for me. This YouTube thing, learning, sharing, having a great time. So, if you don't know, as of January 26, 2021, the CDC has put in some restrictions on international travel. Now, you do not have to have, I guess the only restrictions really going into Mexico is if you're flying, wear your mask. But to get back into the United States, that's where the CDC is requiring COVID-19 tests. So, so anyone 2 years and older coming back into the United States must have a negative COVID-19 test at least 3 days prior to entering back into the United States. If you do not have this, they will not let you back in. So now, our resort, the REU, to get people to come down, they decided that, hey, we're going to include a COVID-19 test, as part of the cost. So here's what we got to do. When we get to Mexico, we'll check in and we'll set up an appointment to get a COVID test at least 3 days ahead of time before we return. And fingers crossed we pass it. If for some reason that we do not, the REU will put us up for at least 10 days in quarantine at no additional cost. So now I don't know. The other resorts are doing other things, and so you definitely got to check with your resort on, what their policy is. But the REU Palace Peninsula, they're taking care of that. That's all part of your cost. So, but again, they will put you up, not only you, but also your traveling companion. That way you're not, there by yourself. So, that's one of the reasons why we did not cancel this trip. We were thinking about it with the new guidelines coming in place. We thought we might just cancel. But as soon as they made these new policies, we said, we're still going to do it. So now that's us. You have to make your own decisions on your own travel plans and, your own risk factors and all that kind of thing. But, so, all right, let's get into other things besides just that. What are some things I've had to do to get ready for this trip? Of course, you got to get all your stuff together, right? But what do you get? It gets hectic. You last minute trying to figure out what all the things you need to do. Well, me being a planner and that kind of thing, I like to make lists. And I've got this little list. Let's see if I can add it to the stream. This is one that I got from another website. And it was really for cruising because that's what that's our primary travel. But because of the COVID-19 and the pandemic, we're not able to cruise right now. So therefore, we're doing small inclusives. You may have seen our other Cancun trip back in October of 2020. So I've got this packing list that I've got, and I've modified the original to include things that I like to take on, for travel. So, yeah. So, we'll go over this maybe a little bit more, but of course, let's go to my list and see what Because I can't keep all this stuff in my head. That's crazy, man. Crazy. So, I guess probably the number one thing you want to make sure you do before going traveling is make sure you've got a valid passport. Yeah, you gotta have a passport for international travel. So therefore, make sure it's valid. And I'd recommend that it doesn't expire within 6 months, just in case something comes up. I mean, you want to make sure that oh, it's a week. Well, what if you got a quarantine? Then you got to go through all the rigmarole to get some kind. So make sure your passport is valid, and at least I'd say 6 months, before it expires. And so you got your valid passport. Check in, the day ahead of time. Your flights. Make sure you check in. Even some of the resorts are allowing online check-in. You can make sure you check in. Now, me, I went online to check in for the flights, and guess what? When I booked the thing, I booked it under my name, but I left off the junior. So when I entered my passport information with American Airlines, it picked up that there's a different name. So, make sure your identification matches up, because you may have to do like I'm going to have to do tomorrow and go to the counter and check in. So now we've got our passports. We've done our checking in. You want to get to the airport. We're going to be leaving. It's going to be cold. So we're going to have to wear a jacket. We get to Mexico. It's going to be hot. We're going to have to make sure we take off that jacket. So I'm saying dress in layers, because those that travel know this. You might go to an airport and it's hot or it's cold in there. The plane's hot or cold. You want to make sure you're in layers so that you can be comfortable. Baggage. You get to the airport. Well, first off, know your airline's baggage policy. Whether you get free baggage or it's going to cost you, because you hate to get up there and think you're getting, a free bag on the plane, and then you got to pay all this extra money. Me paying extra money, I don't like it. So make sure you check your airline policy to figure out what you need to do, but also the size of your bags. You don't want to get up there and your bag's too big, won't fit. Then you got to check it, and I always like to make sure I got everything ready to go. That way that as little, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen to me. So I definitely want to make sure I can, cut out all the extra BS that I can. So speaking of your bags, make sure you weigh it before you get to the airport. You ever see those people that having to get up there to weigh it and it's too heavy, and then they're trying to rearrange and cut all that stuff out. Go ahead and weigh it ahead of time. They sell these baggage, scales that you can buy. They're not very expensive. I don't have one myself, but I do have a bathroom scale. So what I do is I weigh myself. Then I get the bag and I'll weigh with the bag, and then I just subtract, and find out what my baggage is. You can try putting the bag on there, but sometimes the weight distribution gets off and it doesn't weigh exactly right. So that's how I do it. Now we've got our bags. We've got this all, figured out. So what do we put in the bags? Well, make sure you check with the TSA requirements. You do not want to be packing stuff that you shouldn't be packing, right? Because they're going to pull it out. They're going to get you. My brother, we went on a cruise one time. We flew into Miami, and what happens? Last minute, he puts a big bottle of mouthwash in his carry-on. What they do? Jerk him out of line. He just threw it in the trash. Wasn't no big deal. Just a few dollars wasted, but it's extra time that he spent when he didn't have to. So, avoid that stuff. And let's see, what else we got? Again, like I said, I've got the list I've got this list that I've got, and through this list, I make sure I pack in all the right stuff, what clothes to wear. You can see on the right side, clothing, or that's my left side. I don't know. Then what toiletries to bring, and skincare, sun care, sunglasses, that kind of thing. Medications. Make sure you bring the right medications. You don't want to get down there and not have your medication. If you have to buy this stuff when you're down there, it's going to cost you more most times. But yeah, the right documentation. You want to make sure you got your passport. I recommend making a copy of your passport. Make sure you got your boarding passes, your, driver's license, medical insurance cards. Make sure you got your keys, your wallet, cash, credit cards. You want to make sure you got all that stuff. You don't want to get down there and not have that stuff. So definitely make sure. Now, me, again, I make the list like this right here. And so you do what's right for you, but this is how I make sure I've got everything I need. Now, so we're traveling to Mexico. We've got all these new CDC requirements. Well, flying into Mexico, so you get on the plane, you fly down to Mexico, you get there, and, well, on the plane, they're going to give you this immigration form you got to fill out. Now, you can fill it out, while you're on the plane, or if you do ahead of time, you can print it off. You can search it up, and you can find the form online and fill it out ahead of time. Just make sure you fill out. When you're filling out on the plane, make sure you fill out top and bottom. I know it sounds redundant, but they want you to fill both parts out. You got to keep up with this stuff. If you don't, if you ain't got the right information, they're not letting you in, right? So, but they also have a new form that, getting into Mexico, you've got to fill out let me see what it's called, a questionnaire for identification of risk factors in travelers. This is their step of trying to make sure that, hey, we're not letting people come into the country that, has COVID. So you fill out that form, and once you go through security and all that, there'll be even temperature scans and all that kind of thing. So, make sure you got all your information right. Now, this form, this questionnaire, I believe, you can fill it out ahead of time. Some airplanes may be giving these out. I'm not exactly sure, but I know you get to the airport. There's a lot of times they have the QR codes. You can just scan that, fill it there, show it to the people, and that's good. So now you got all this. You done gone through security and all that. Now you got your bags, and you got to get out of the airport. Get to go get your taxi, right? Now, I'm gonna tell you, make sure when you go out them doors after you get through the duty-free section there at the airport, run. They got all these people on each side of you that are trying to sell you these vacation packages or excursions and all that. Don't make eye contact. Get out of there, because at the end of that, that's where you go to the taxi. But they'll try to get you. They got us the last time, even though we were warned. We're trying to, okay, what do we, they called us. I thought they was helping us out. We spent like 10, 15 minutes trying to get away from somebody trying to sell us an excursion. We are ready to get to the resort. So make sure you bypass all that. Once you get out there, find your guy. People will help you find, hopefully you already got your taxi or shuttle or whatever already booked. If not, they will have taxis out there that you can get. Now, you just got to watch some of them, can be expensive. So you may want to haggle a little bit, or whatever, but definitely I would recommend doing it ahead of time. Now, you in your shuttle, bam, go to the resort, have fun. Don't worry about it. Just have fun. Make sure now remember, the whole time you got to have your mask on. Make sure you're washing your hands, all that good stuff. Make sure you taking your precautions, but still have fun. That's what we're going to do. We got a great group of people going, and we're going to have a great time. I know it. You look at this place behind us. I mean, don't that place look awesome? Now, if I okay, look, see it's right there. That's the adults only section, an adults only pool. That's where we're hanging out. Now, I know it's going to be a great time, great time. Now, once it's all over, you know, and we're going to be crying, oh, I got to go back to reality, to cold weather. Well, going back to the airport, you got to fill out another one of those questionnaires for identification of risk factors in travelers. Again, you can do it ahead of time, or you can scan the QR code. Make sure you got your Visa card. If you ain't got that Visa, I mean, you ain't getting out of there. You ain't not getting out of there. I mean, well, you may have to go through a bunch of hassle and hoops and loops. You may miss your plane. You never know. So make sure you keep up with that. And there's a new form I've heard about. It's let me see if I wrote it down. I wrote it down. I know I did. Now you get back to the airport. You got to fill out that one questionnaire of risk factors. You got to make sure you've got that negative COVID test from your resort or whoever provided you with the COVID test. You got to make sure you've got that. And there's this new form called the U.S. Government Attestation Form. A lot of it's provided by the airline at check-in, so you can just go get that form. I believe they probably got the QR codes as well that you can just do it. Boom, you're good. But you got to make sure you got to have your visa. You got to have your questionnaire for risk. You got to have your attestation form and a negative COVID test to get back in the United States. You have to. But if you got it all, then hey, it's smooth sailing. You jump back on that airplane and you head back to, well, in our case, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina. We'll be flying out to Charlotte to Cancun, from Cancun back straight to Charlotte, so we don't have any layovers or anything like that. So that should be all good. Now, this is as of February 21st. Things could change tomorrow. You know, they may require more things. They may not. They may loosen. But hey, this is just my experience so far. And of course, I will be making more videos. There's no doubt about it. I will be making more videos on this trip. And so if anything changes or you want to see even more experiences, please, hey, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when the next video comes out. Or you may even go live from Cancun. It's been known to happen. And we've had some wild times. So, hey, you won't want to miss it. And, of course, if you know anybody that may be traveling or anything like that, share this video to them. That way they can get some information. But, hey, again, don't quote me on everything. This is just my information as of right now. Make sure you do your own little investigation. Make sure, because everybody's situation can be different. But as of right now, that's what I know. So, yeah, I'm just ready to go. I'm ready to go. So, hey, guys, I'm going to get off of here. But again, hey, if you like what you see, please subscribe, tell your friends, hit the notification bell, and down in the comments, leave us a message. Let us know. And until next time, we'll be seeing ya. Woo!